Alright, another video for you here today. Some subscribers have asked me to tell excuse the story about the Zodiac Killer trying to get me when I joined the Air Force back in '71. And here's how it happened. I already told you a story about that house that was tenanted where I worked as a security guard at night, and those guys tried to get me, and they followed me home, and I pulled a gun on them a couple of times. And this was Frank Morse and the Anglin brothers. They were the guys that did the Zodiac Killer thing, for those of you who aren't following my channel. And I'd like to ask that you do, because it's kind of long and complicated, but it's very interesting, and it will make the mystery go away about a whole lot of mysteries in this country. Everything from way back to the Black Dahlia up to the Texas Moonlight murders, all of the Zodiac Killer murders, the Mothman of West Virginia, and a whole lot of other unsolved murders. There was a girl named Little Lake Panisofsky, a girl that they took from, evidently they took her from Ruskin, where they lived, and took her up to Lake Panisofsky and murdered her and threw her body in the lake. And I saw him dredging the body out of there, or whatever you call it. But anyway, when you join the military, they take you to a center called AFES. That's Air Force, Army, I don't know, induction or whatever, and exchange service. And you get to this center, and you ride you down on a bus, and you think you're an important person because you didn't have to pay for it. And you get there, and they take you in, and they're nice to you, and they have you line up, and they do a physical on everybody. And if you pass the physical, you go into another room, and they're real nice to you, and they put a contract in front of you and tell you to sign it. And you think you don't realize what you're doing, okay? You sign this contract, and once you do, they put you in another room. Then they start yelling at you, and sit down and shut up and get over here and get over there. And they have you form up, and they have you go outside, and they say, now everybody sit down and stay right here. Don't go anywhere, because if you do, you're going to be arrested for court-martial. We will send the FBI after you. And some of them have the guts to get up and go over there and say, hey, I changed my mind. I don't want to do this. And it's too late. You already signed the contract. Now, this is the way it was in '71. I can't say how it is now, but I bet you $1 million it hadn't changed. Because they want to really get in control of your mind when you get in the military, because, they don't want you in a combat situation where, the person in charge says, hit the dirt, and some dummy asks questions, and while he's asking questions, everybody else hitting the dirt, and he's getting shot. Well, okay, so they got us outside. We're all sitting down on the concrete, and everybody's looking like, oh, geez, what the hell did I do now? And Frank Morse walks up to me. The Anglins are standing around out there. Again, it's one of those things where it's just a guy that walked up to me and started talking to me. But, over the years, and go back and look at pictures and remember, yeah, that's the same guy that walked up to me this time, and that time, and that time, and that time. And come to think of it, it's the same guy that I saw in Mexico City. But see, he went through some surgeries, facial surgeries, so that he could do the D.B. Cooper thing. So I'm seeing this guy going through changes, this metamorphosis over the years when he's attacking me. And then that made it more confusing and harder to pin them down. But anyway, comes up to me and says, hey, it looks like they're not being too nice to you anymore, are they? And I go, no. And he goes, if you want, me and my friends can get you out of this. And I go, really? How do you do that? And he goes, oh, we'll go over there and talk to them. We'll get you out of it. Hold on a second. I'll go over there and see what I can do. And he goes over, and I don't know what he did. Mostly he just waited for me to look the other way, and then he came back and said, yeah, I talked to him. They're going to let you go. Come on, you can come with us. And I go, Are you sure? And I said, let me go over there and ask him. He said, no, 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 you don't have to ask him. Come on, let's go. And he's trying to rush me, and I'm like, you know that thing about the FBI and court-martial and all that desertion? I'm not going anywhere, I don't think, without these guys. You know, one of those guys with a uniform on telling me that I can. And Frank goes, well, if you're sure about it, that, you know, we can get some other guys here to go with us, but we'd really like to have you. And I was, you know, I mean, that made me feel good. Wow, why do you want me? And he goes, well, we just think you're kind of special, you know. You know, he knew how to say just enough to get you interested in going with him. But I refused, and he kind of drifted off. That was the end of it. But then he showed up in Louisiana, where I was stationed later on in time, and tried attacking me a couple of times. Maybe I'll do that in the next video. That's it for today. Have a good one.